if you're thinking about importing from China to the U.S., there are actually there are a lot of ways to reduce cost, and you got to really think about that strategically because it's a very long process. So in today's conversation, I want to explain to you how to reduce cost if you are thinking about importing from China to the US, okay? So here's the strategy I want you to really think about. One thing for sure, you want to not only reduce costs, but you also got to think about simplifying operations. Because the whole thing is that if you want to do the import process in a streamlined manner, you have to really simplify operations. Otherwise, you can't do it in a scalable manner. In other words, you're not going to be around 20 years from now or 30 years from now. You might be here for 5 years from now, but you will not be here for a long period of time. So importing from China can be profitable for e-commerce businesses, but it really requires understanding customs, cost, and restrictions. So it doesn't. This is not applicable only to e-commerce businesses. You can be a brick and mortar business and still find this hacks very interesting. Now, when it comes to reducing costs during the importation process, you want to really focus on market research, finding reliable suppliers, choosing shipping methods, and also navigating customs clearance. Okay, and to manage import duties effectively, you want to categorize your products correctly. You want to explore duty reductions, and you want to consider using a customs broker because it's always important to really rely on a third party who has experience with the China into the U.S. Importation process so that you can save money in the long run. But one thing for sure, you can also think about fulfilling your orders from Hong Kong because this can be a smoother and a more cost-effective alternative to importing directly from China. I mean, Hong Kong is part of China, but Hong Kong has, for the last 100 years, for the last century, has had a special sort of development regime, if you will. So as a matter of fact, Hong Kong is a free port, which means that you're not paying any fees. So that's kind of cool. Okay. Now, when it comes to actually importing from China, there are various regulations depending on the product category and value. I'll speak about this later on, but if you want more information, you want to really you want to go to the CBP, the CBP website. CBP stands for Customs and Border Protection. So that's the agency that takes care of all the importation rules. Okay, and so you may have to you may have to pay import taxes from China depending on the value and type of goods. Okay, and you may also need a license. And it's important to understand that China has is the second trading partner of the U.S. after Mexico and before Canada. So you're looking at 450 to 500 billion dollars. So that's a lot of cash right there. Okay. So if you were thinking about importing from China, let's say from China to the U.S. in a very cost-effective manner, it's important to understand that a lot of folks love Chinese products for e-commerce, but also for offline commerce because you have a variety, of course, you have affordability, you have convenience, and, you have also the agility of suppliers to offer actually all kinds of products real fast. So to start importing successfully, you must undertake thorough market research to align your inventory with the target market's demand. So if you are going to sell in the US, if you are going to sell Chinese products in the US, you want to make sure that your target audience, the final buyers, are pretty comfortable with the kind of products you will be importing. So basically, the import process from China requires a detailed understanding of custom duties as well as import taxes, plus the logistics involved in air freight or ocean freight, ensuring that your imported goods arrive efficiently and economically. Because again, unless you're shipping from Beijing to LA, like the West Coast, anytime you're shipping from China to the East Coast or anything anything in between, then you have to think about the cost versus speed. Okay, so now let me give you a few key steps for a seamless import strategy. So you have market research. So you want to identify and understand your import goods target market, tailor your product selection to meet demand, find Chinese wholesale suppliers. You want to understand import regulations, you want to actually choose the right shipping method, including the right shipping partner, and you want to invest in cargo insurance. I will speak about all of those in detail so you have a clear idea because they are important. For example, when I speak about finding Chinese wholesale suppliers, you don't have to do it yourself. Like you have to do it randomly. You can leverage platforms like Alibaba or attend trade shows to actually connect with potential suppliers who can really offer quality products at competitive prices. That's what you want, right? Quality products at competitive prices. You do not want to have quality products at like prohibitively costly like a prohibitive cost. No, you want something affordable, but also quality. So you got to really strike that balance there. Now let me talk to you about Chinese suppliers. I mean, Chinese suppliers are like all kind. They are like any other kind of supplier. You have good suppliers. You have great suppliers. You have bad suppliers. You have crappy suppliers. You have anything in between. Okay, actually a mixed bag. So the cool thing is that you have to really think about forging strong relationships with reliable partners. Very critical. I want to insist on that. Forging strong relationships with reliable partners. So Chinese wholesale suppliers offer a vast array of products, but the challenge is in finding those who adhere to high quality control standards, and that's also provide consistent reliability. In other words, you have to count on them today, but you have to count on you can count on them 100 years from now or 10 years from now for that matter. Okay, so engaging a third party inspection service can be a critical step in verifying the quality of goods before they leave China, ensuring that your inventory meets both your standards and your customers' expectations. Because the last thing you want is to actually let the product actually leave China, travel like for 45 days, and finally arrive to the U.S. And then you realize that they have delivered to you crappy products. That's crazy. So you do not want to have that. So you can engage a third party inspection service to make sure that the goods are verified first. Okay. So here are some strategies for partnering with reliable suppliers. Again, I'm telling you what I'm giving you a few tips on how to do things cost effectively if you are importing from China to the US. Okay. So in terms of reliable partners, do you want to do some due diligence, do quality control, and also negotiate terms. So in terms of due diligence, you want to conduct thorough background checks on potential suppliers, including their business licenses, production capabilities, and previous client reviews. You want to read all of this. In terms of quality control, you want to insist on quality control measures and, if possible, visit the manufacturing site personally or hire a third-party inspection service. It's just a lot better to hire a third-party inspection service because, if you're in the States, it will cost you a lot more to travel all the way to China to actually, unless it's important for you, okay? And you want to negotiate terms. So discuss terms like delivered, duty paid to ensure you understand all costs upfront, including customs duties and shipping fees. That's an important element to think about. Now let's talk about importing products. See, the whole thing is that importing products from China involves more than just placing orders and waiting for them to arrive. No, because China is not like New Jersey or New York. China is not next door. Those are, China is a sovereign country. The U.S. is a sovereign country. So sovereign countries have laws, okay? So you have to really be able to navigate the complexities of customs, brokerage, choosing an efficient shipping method, and managing the logistics seamlessly from departure to arrival. So you have a clear idea what works and what doesn't work. And so if you want to be a successful importing business, you want to meticulously plan the shipping process, right? I mean, shipping process is really critical, especially if you want things to arrive faster. So when I speak about shipping process, you want to pay attention to the having, for instance, the optimal cargo insurance policy. You want to also receive the arrival notice so that you can have a smooth transition, smooth transition through customs, but also onto the final destination, right? So it is an entire process. Think about it that way. It's an entire process. So one thing I want to say here is that you have to really understand that it's also all about what you need for your specific like your specific goods, your specific yeah, your specific goods and goals, if you will. Let me give you a few strategies for partnering with for I mean not sorry for importing products. I want to give you a few strategies. Okay, think about customs bond. So obtains you want to obtain a customs bond to guarantee the payment of import taxes and duties to the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, so the CBP. You want to think about the shipping process, so coordinate with freight forwarders to handle all the details of logistics. A freight forwarder can actually help ensure your products are shipped efficiently and arrive on time. Also, think about customs clearance. So you want to work with a custom broker, to navigate the complexities of import regulations, ensuring that your shipment complies with all legal requirements. That's very important to think about, especially in the long run. That's going to help you a lot, big time. Let me talk to you about customs clearance. So when it comes to importing from China to the US, how to do things cheaply, customs clearance plays an important role. Let me break it down for you. So basically, when it comes to the import journey, customs clearance is actually the final itinerary, and this process ensures that your goods clear customs without delays or additional cost. So customs clearance is a critical step in the importing process, requiring detailed attention to the documentation, including the commercial invoice and the customs bond. Okay, so a knowledgeable customs broker can be actually invaluable in this phase, and this partner, can offer guidance on import taxes, customs duties, and the overall customs brokerage process to actually help you facilitate the smooth entry of Chinese imports into your business and also into this country. Okay, and so when you think about importing the stuff from China to the U.S., and you want to reduce cost and simplify operations, it's important to understand the role of CBP. So U.S. Customs and Border Protection, CBP, enforces a wide range of regulations aimed at protecting the economy, the environment, and the health and safety of the American citizens. Okay, so compliance with these regulations is non-negotiable and requires a comprehensive understanding of applicable laws and standards. So let me give you a few key regulatory considerations to have in mind. Product-specific regulations. Certain categories of products such as food, electronics, and toys are subject to additional scrutiny and regulatory requirements, and importers must ensure that their products comply with the relevant safety standards and certifications, such as the Consumer Product Safety Commission, the CPSC requirements for toys. You gotta also think about intellectual property, so intellectual property rights. So the CBP also enforces intellectual property rights, ensuring that the imported goods do not infringe on U.S. trademarks or copyrights. So as an importer, you should conduct due diligence to verify that your products do not violate any IPR. Also think about environmental regulations. So various environmental regulations may apply to your imported goods, including restrictions on hazardous substances and compliance with the Convention on International Trade and in Endangered Species and Wild Fauna and Flora. Okay, sites. You also have labeling requirements, so products must be accurately labeled according to U.S. standards, including country of origin, content, and safety labels where applicable. So that's really detailed, but it is what it is. Okay, and again, CBP is not going to actually negotiate with you on that. So let me give you a few keys to efficient customs clearance: accurate documentation, customs broker partnership, and also understand import taxes. In terms of documentation, make sure all paperwork, including the commercial invoice and packing list, actually is accurate and complete. Very important. Also think about import duty. So from China to the U.S., from your Chinese partner from the Chinese location to the U.S. So understanding import duty from China to the U.S. is actually crucial for every e-commerce entrepreneur, but also every regular business person that really wants to know how to navigate the complexities of international trade efficiently. Okay, and the thing is, import duties are taxes imposed by governments on imported goods. So the U.S. does have import duties. Okay, on certain food categories. Again, it's all about protecting the American producer, the American economy also. So in the context of the U.S.-China trade relationship, these duties can significantly affect the cost and ultimately pricing strategy of your imported goods, ultimately impacting your business's bottom line. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to be a little more, let's say, a little more strategic. So when importing products from China, you want to comprehend how these duties are calculated, the specific rates applicable to your specific products, and any available exemptions or reductions that could benefit your business in the first place. So this is where you have to pay attention to something called HTS, the United States Harmonized Tariff Schedule. This HTS plays a pivotal role here because it provides a framework for classifying goods and assigning duty rates. So here are a few key components of managing import duty this year. Think about harmonized tariff schedule, quotes, duty rates, customs bond, customs broker assistance, delivered duty paid, so the shipping Incoterm, the DDP, the free trade agreements, important to think about that. And also, there are some strategic considerations for e-commerce businesses, so budgeting for import duties, regular review of trade policies, diversification of supplier base, but also leveraging technology because you want to make sure that you are having the best of the best and the latest technology possible. So when it comes to actually importing from China to the US, if you're trying to really reduce cost and streamline operations, maybe you want to think about fulfilling from Hong Kong. I mean, I said that before. I want to insist on that. Hong Kong is part of China, so you are still importing from China, even if you just doing the fulfillment from Hong Kong. Okay, and the thing is that Hong Kong is really a dynamic business hub that provides a smoother and more cost-effective way to get your products to customers worldwide, including to the US. Okay, and so why should you choose Hong Kong in the first place? Well, for a couple of reasons. You have faster delivery times. You have enhanced customer experience. You have reduced cost. You have improved customer service, and you have a business-friendly environment. I mean, this is kind of important. Okay, so the business friendliness, I mean, of the environment is kind of important. Is kind of important because Hong Kong's strong legal system and trade-focused regulations make it ideal for international businesses, especially American-based companies that want to import from China. Okay, you also have faster delivery times because Hong Kong actually boasts superior global connectivity, shipping up to 3 days of delivery times compared to direct China shipments, especially if you're shipping from let's say what I call inland China to inland United States. Okay, that's really anytime you don't have coast to coast shipments, things will take a little longer. Okay, of course, it's important to understand that you are going to really face a couple of challenges, but those challenges are definitely surmountable. Okay, and in terms of enhanced customer experience, as the thing is, the major carriers such as USPS, UPS, FedEx, and DHL, they offer a wide range of high quality services with superior tracking options in Hong Kong. So that's kind of cool because it gives you the flexibility that you need to really get the job done. Okay, that's really important to think about. So Matt, you might have when it comes to fulfillment from Hong Kong, you might have some challenges like rising costs, time management, shipping complexity, and also some growth constraints. So be aware of that. In closing, in today's conversation, I spoke to you about importing from China to the U.S. So I explained to you how to reduce cost and streamline operations. I gave you the strategy. I spoke about importing from China. I spoke about Chinese suppliers importing products, custom clearance, import duty, China to the U.S., and finally, China import alternative, Hong Kong. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.